In the last lecture, you learned that we use the finally clause to release external resources. Now we have a shorter and cleaner way to achieve the same thing, but without the finally clause. But it doesn't always work. It works with certain kinds of objects. Let me explain. So, on line 2, I'm going to make a couple of slight changes. Instead of getting the return value of the open function, we prefix this with the with statement. And then we'll get access to the return value of this function by typing as file. So this is the file object that the open function returns. After that, we add a colon. So obviously here we're going to have a block. In this block of code, we can work with this file object. For example, we can read something from this file or write to it and so on. So for now, let's just print file opened. Now, whenever we open a file using the with statement, Python will automatically call file.close whether we have a finally clause or not. In other words, the with statement is used to automatically release external resources. So now we can delete these two lines from here. That's better. But let's dive deeper and see how this exactly works under the hood. So look at this file object, file dot. These are the members of the file object. We have methods that start with two underlines, and we refer to them as magic methods. In the next section, where I talk about classes and objects, you're going to learn about these in detail. But here we have two magic methods that you should be aware of. We have enter and exit. When an object has these two methods, we say that object supports context management protocol. Again, in the next section, I'm going to talk about this in more detail. So, if an object supports the context management protocol, or in other words, if an object has these two methods, enter and exit, we can use that object with the with statement. Python will automatically call the exit method, and there it will release external resources. That is the reason we don't need a finally clause here. Now, to take this to the next level, there are times that you might be working with multiple external resources. Let's say we want to read some data from one file and write it to another file. So how do we do that? Well, here before the colon, we can add a comma and open another external resource, like another file. So open, let's say, another file.txt as we give it a variable name, like target. With this, Python will automatically release both these external resources. Now I'm going to delete the second one here because we don't have a file called another.txt. So when we run this program, we'll get an exception and our program will crash. So delete. So this is all about the with statement.